Thank you so much. Well, good morning. Let's do it. Let's get into numbers. I'm going to skip this part. If you weren't here yesterday, I guess Google me. You'll find all kinds of stuff. Me dancing with some random guy yesterday in a bar. Who tagged me in that, by the way? There is a social media etiquette, Tiffany. I think it was Tiffany. I was like, seriously? Well, that's out there. Well, I'm gonna have fun explaining that one. But he did turn 40 yesterday, and I wanted to make sure he has a good day. So we had a little dance off, and that's what I think Whitney was saying. That I play hard. What is it? Work hard, play hard. Right. So I had fun. Did you guys have fun? Was Nashville fun? I think so too. Being 40 though, gosh, waking up this morning. Can't zip my pants. I have bags under my ears. I seriously had a square face. You know how your bad face is in the mirror? I rolled out of bed. I'm like, whoa. So thank God for makeup. But we're going to do some business today. Let's talk about it. So I want you to learn to leverage, right? Because there's only 24 hours in the day, and there's only one of you, right? So we can multiply us. We cannot make more time, but we kind of can create more time by using other people's time. Right? So we are going to talk about that today. So no matter how good you are at what you do, you are going to hit a personal ceiling. It's just that. There's only so many houses you can sell. So we're going to have to change that. Okay, if I'm cut, so at 52 deals a year, I was like, I cannot sell another house. I was already at the point where I started not liking people, and I like people. Like, I am a people person, right? Like, I get charged by people, and I also get drained by people. So then I have to go and recharge, right? So I want you to start thinking about how are the other ways how you can raise your income by not having necessarily to sell more homes, but raise that. So you can do it a few ways, right? You can sell more expensive homes, and that was my first thing. But at the time, for me, my average was $412,000 per home, and you should know your average, right? It's just math. I want you to know your numbers. So at $412,000 in Pinckney, Michigan at the time, if I wanted to raise that price range, I had to break into the gated communities. Ask me how many gated communities are in Pinckney. Yeah, none, zilch. Which means I have to drive 30 minutes either direction. But even in Brighton, Michigan, for example, there are really only two. And did you know that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but less than 6% of the US population, the household income is over $100,000. And less than 1% of Americans make over $600,000 a year. So that means my pool of buyers, yeah, can I sell more expensive homes? Yes. But the pool of buyers now is down to 1%. And how many of those are actually on the market? So you know your area best. You might be able to play with those numbers, right? Because think of it this way. Somebody, I think the first day was saying, yeah, but my average price range is $275. Would you drive an hour that way? Or an hour that way? To sell $1 million property? Absolutely. I'll drive an hour to make 30, what is it? On $1 million, you make 30 grand, right? Am I doing it right? Good. Okay. I'm still with it. My coffee should be kicking in any minute now. Okay. So let's play with these numbers for you today. Your first hire, as we discussed yesterday, should be an assistant or a virtual assistant. So we discussed with the red light, green light yesterday, then anything that needs to be done in person, you're going to have to hire what I like to call a personal assistant or a house assistant, right? Should you be doing a load of laundry? Can you shout out the number, how much is a load of laundry cost for you? $550 load of laundry. Anybody can top that? $992 load of laundry. Anybody? Do you know your numbers? Did you do the math yesterday? If you don't know your numbers, you're kidding yourself. You wasted all day yesterday and you're wasting your time today. If you don't know your hourly rate, calculate it now. Because from now on, you're not going to do anything that it's not worth that hour. So in my case, I make about $4,200 an hour. If I run a load of laundry, how much do you think it's going to cost you to hire somebody to run a load of laundry? Let's say it's $25 an hour. I'm losing $4,175 an hour every time I run a load of laundry. Should I run it ever again? Do I qualify to run a load of laundry? Absolutely. Should I be running it? No. So from now on, you're going to hire it out. So start with an assistant. And that assistant, as we talked about, it doesn't have to be just the person who's checking your emails and DMs and helping you schedule things, right? It has to remove things from your plate like dropping off kids or picking up kids. Whatever that takes time, we decided with my husband that at least one of us is going to be dropping off and picking up, right? Because I only have 4 more years with our kids. We only have 4 more years with our, they're growing up very, very fast. So we didn't hire that portion out. Instead, my husband became Mr. Mom. But pretty much everything else is hired out. So start with a local assistant. That is what's going to cost you the most amount of money, probably somewhere between 20 to 25 bucks an hour. But now that you know how much money you make, is it a cost anymore? Right? It's a benefit to be able to make more money. So that other assistant that I like to call an executive assistant, that can be a virtual assistant. So my executive assistant is Mariana, and she's from Brazil. Can she check my emails from Brazil? How about DMs? How about scheduling my trips and podcasts and who's going to be speaking in our team coaching calls and all of those things? Absolutely, she can do it all. As long as there's Wi-Fi, right? Now, the one thing that I do want you to be a little bit careful with is giving credit card, like scheduling flights and things like that information to them, right? So with that, there's some ways around it. What I like to do is I literally update my profiles, right? So I create a profile with Expedia. Right? I put in all the information, and you know how they only show the last 4 digits of your card? So that way your card is protected. So you're not giving them your credit card information. You're giving them access to Expedia to travel, to set up your travel stuff. And that way you don't have to worry about, try not to do passwords. Same with Facebook, Instagram. If you're giving them access, give them admin right. So they cannot delete your account. They cannot do something like message someone something on your behalf. Right? So you have to be careful with that. Now, the things that you need to remove from your plate, my favorite things to remove from my plate is what things that I hate doing. It's not that I can do it. I can. I just don't like it. I hate online shopping. I hate scheduling anything. I just don't like it. So yesterday when I had to have my hair dried, I literally texted her, can you please find me the nearest dry bar, 1 o'clock? She's like, done. Here's the address. Make sure you go to this one because there's another one nearby. The best feeling ever. Doesn't that make you want to work harder so you can afford more of that? So let's assume, I tried to do the math with kind of average numbers. So let's assume that your average sales price is $300,000. Let's assume that you did about a 50-50 split at 15 listings at 15 buy sites, assuming that you're collecting a 3% commission at $9,000. If you're a solo agent, you make about $270 with this math. The reason I didn't deduct what you would be paying to your broker, because with our brokerage at this price range, you would be an icon agent, so you don't have a cap. You do, but you earn it back, okay? So I want you to run your numbers with whatever cap that you're paying, because you have to deduct that, right? If you get to earn it back, if you're EXP and you get to earn it back, you ended up, what I like to say, 100% plus here. Now, the first hire you should get on your real estate side of things is a buyer's agent, right after an assistant. And a TC, we talked about that yesterday, right? You're never going to push paper ever again. So the buyer's agent, usually the way mine get paid, it's a 50-50 split. So it's simple. They sell a $300,000 house, $9,000 commission, they get $4,500, I get $4,500. Each listing that you have, though, should yield you 2 buyers. So what happened to us is, a year ago, most of our deals were on the listing side. She barely had time. Clancy was the only agent on my team at the time. I never wanted to have a mega icon team. I just wanted to replace myself. So with Clancy doing all of those deals, I realized we were missing out on all of the buy side because she just didn't have time to follow up with the people at the open houses. So your buyer's agents should do open houses every single weekend. That's a requirement. When you hire a buyer's agent, you have to have a contract. If you do not take your business seriously, they won't take you seriously. The contract will literally spell out, like my contract says, that they have to do open houses every single weekend. If we don't have a listing because it's sold, because it's crazy market, then they have to find one. So they'll reach out to other EXP agents in the area and say, hey, I'm available, can I please hold your listing open? The other thing is how you handle the leads, right? So our SAS is that you have to take a lead within a 50-mile radius from Brighton, Michigan. You have to call them within 5 minutes. If you refuse as much as 1 lead, you'll never get another one again. I mean, never get another one again. There's no excuses. Like, I don't care that you have a flat tire, your cell phone still works. I don't care that your cat had diarrhea, right? Like, I could come up with the reasons of excuses that agents come up with, right? If you want the opportunity to get pretty much all of our leads, right, you have to work for it. I worked for getting it, now you're gonna have to work for closing it. So then everybody gets paid. So there is no BS on Gogo's real estate team. So your contract, what I did is I got a copy of the contract of Mark Z, I got a copy of the contract of Tino Call's team, and then I added on a few things that's important to me, like social media. So our team has to post every single Monday, and I actually can give you the schedule very quick. So Mondays, it's not in the presentation, but I think it's a good one. Mondays, we post a listing, any listing, I don't care, find one. Lakefront property, condo, whatever you like. And these come from KV Core guys. So we don't post to post because we don't have anything else to do on Monday. We're doing it because we are lead capturing. So we all have, if you're an EXP agent, you all have KV Core. If you're not an EXP agent, find a CRM program that has lead capturing ability. Not just storing the information that you plug in there from all of the sources, but actually captures information for you. So now that you have that, every Tuesday, you're going to post your listings. If your listing sold, find another listing, I don't care. Wednesdays, search for home. Your website has the search for home button. So they capture all the buyers. Thursdays are open houses. Now, because I'm in Pinckney, Michigan, population of 9,000, we probably have one open house this weekend. So what I do is I set up the search for the whole Livingston County. And they say, hey guys, these are the open houses for Livingston County this weekend. If you rather have a private showing, right? I'm available today between blah, blah, blah. I'm available all weekend. And then don't assume that they know your cell phone number, guys. Spell it out. Text me. Call me at blah, 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 the 7 numbers. Facebook. Yeah? I just found food in my teeth. Excuse me. Okay. Well, that was fun. Who saw it and didn't tell me? Better tell me next time, right? Okay. So you do it on your own Facebook and LinkedIn, anywhere that it allows you to post a link. So Facebook and LinkedIn are great. That's where ours go. Instagram stories, Facebook stories. Now Instagram allows everyone to share a link. In the past, you had to have 10,000 followers. Now anybody can do it. All you need to do is literally take the traffic that they're really good at, right? Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all of them are really good at generating traffic to their site. Your job is to take them off to the site and make them go where you want them to go. And that's where the link comes in. So Thursdays are open houses, and Fridays, how much your home is worth. We do Fridays, or how much your home is worth, CMAs on Fridays, even though the system does the automated CMA that sends it right to the client. We do it on Fridays because that gives our agents time on the weekend to follow up with every single one and double check the numbers and all of those things. So that's our schedule. They have to do that. So when you're building your contract, you're going to have to sit down and figure out what's important to you. Right? Like to Mark Z and Tina Call, social media wasn't important. But I've never bought a lead. They are a Zillow team. I've never bought a Zillow. I never bought a lead, period, in my career. So that, to me, we had to continue doing things the way that I like to do it to stay true to me, right, and my brand that I've built. But now I have to create a bunch of mini-me's, which comes with rules. So you're going to have to sit down and look at your business from a 10,000-foot view and be like, who am I? How do I do business? And what kind of agents do I want on my team? And what am I expecting of them to do? Right? So then it ends up flowing for the future, how you've been building it. Because can you take 10 years to build the most amazing reputation, and can someone just blow it up for you in 3 seconds? And I am not about to allow that to happen. And nor should you, right? We are all as good as our reputation. So the next thing, now that you know that each of your listings should bring 2 buy sides, let me ask you this. Can you charge a transaction fee in the state that you are at? Awesome. Actually, can you not charge one? How many people cannot? Everybody. Love it. That's awesome. Some states allow it, some states don't. And in some states it's allowed, but it's not normal. So if you are allowed to do that, I charge a $4.95 transaction fee on the buy side and listing side, and I keep that. Our agents have to charge it though, but it comes back right to the team. So that's an additional source of income. I forgot to grab my water again. Can I please have it? It's on the floor. Thank you. So now let's go to the listing side. So first you're going to give up the buy side because don't we all just love driving people around, showing them 17 homes, making 27 offers, and you lose every time, right? Thank you. No, that's good. Thank you. So first, get rid of your buy side and hire yourself a buyer's agent. Start with one, right, until you get the rhythm of it. And just depending what your end goal is, my end goal is not a mega icon team. Never been, never will be. right? So what I want to do is have enough agents to take care of our organically generated leads. Right now, we give out so many leads locally and nationally, then it's kind of stupid for me not to add on more agents to the team. Because when I give leads out, I give it out at a standard 25%. Chelsea over there received how many yesterday? 2 yesterday, 1 today, and how many last week? 4. So thank you, Chelsea. And Anna, literally yesterday while I was on stage, Anna Green, I think. Hi, Greer. Hi, Anna. So literally I was on stage yesterday. Somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, we're looking for homes in Nashville. And I responded, Nashville is beautiful. Because I'm not a Nashville agent, right? So do you have an agent? And he said, no, I thought you were one. So I was like, well, I can't help you in Nashville, but I know a rockstar agent who can. And messaged Anna, and there she is. I don't know, what price range are they in? Did you have a chance to talk to them? Not connected yet, yeah. So I don't know what price range they're in, but that was it, right? I made a lead right here on the stage. So that's the power of social media. Now, when it comes to giving it away, right? Because Anna's in Nashville, I can't put her on my team, nor does she want to be on my team, right? So that means it's a 25 referral fee. But Chelsea, for example, is in Michigan. She's still too far for me to be on my team. But when we have all of these leads that are coming in locally, it would be silly of me to give it away at 25% if all I need to do is add a couple agents to my team at a 50-50 split, right? And this way I'm helping other agents too locally who cannot figure out how to lead generate for themselves, or they're brand new and they don't know what they're doing, right? So it's time for them to be on a team. So on the listing side, though, we take more. We take a 60-40 split because I have more expenses on the listing side than I have on the buy side. We also keep the $4.95 transaction fee. Our agents, do we have transaction coordination for them? Absolutely. Do I make them pay for it? Absolutely. Which is not normal. Most teams will pay for the TC. The reason I do that is because it's their choice. Nobody freaking paid for anything of mine, right? Which means I had to work for it. So my goal is for them to choose. First, it's actually mandatory for them. For the first 10 deals, they have to do their own paperwork. The reason why is because I want you to know what you're doing. Eventually, you have the option of a TC, and then you have the choice to pay for it at a discounted price, right? I don't charge them the full price that everybody charges, but at a discounted price, they have to pay for their own TC because it's their choice that they don't want to push paper. But they have to do the first 10, and I strongly recommend that you make them make them do the first 10 deals so they learn paperwork. I do this for multiple reasons. A, because they need to know what they're doing, right? But B, is because the EXP model is so different. Here, at every other model in the past when I had a team, you want to keep that agent, right? You don't want them to know things. You don't want them necessarily to grow. You want them to stay where they're at because you need them. Not here. Here, I want them to grow. I want you to go build a team for yourself. I will help you myself, right? I need you to know the paperwork. I need you to know the structure. I need you to know the company. I need you to know how to do everything because I want you to go from a quarter capper to a half capper, and from a half capper to a full capper, and from a full capper to be a team lead, and from a team lead to, I don't even know, build yourself a massive organization like Mary over there. Yes. Yeah, so I do a lot of voice notes. So they have to practice, right? I don't do scripts. I don't know a script, right? I've never been a cold caller, so I don't know a script. So that's not something that we ask them to learn, right? But they do need to represent ourselves. So instead of just saying, they used to say like, I'm an agent on the Gogo's real estate team. Oh, that sounds so fancy. I'm an agent, right? No, you say, hi, this is Clancy. I'm the listing specialist on Gogo's real estate team. Doesn't that sound a little better? So they have to learn it, right? And first, they don't feel comfortable, so I make them send me a voice note every single morning. I don't have time to talk to you, but send me a voice note, so when I have time, I will listen to it. And then I'll give you a little feedback. So voice notes are huge for me. I just hold the button, say what you need to say, send it to me. I'll give you some corrections until you get the rhythm of it, then we're good to go. Okay, so on the buy side, now that you're splitting it, right? So now you're like, yeah, but I'm losing 50% of my commission. No, you're not. You making 100% of your time and gaining 50% of a commission. The best feeling ever is when the money hits your account and you had no idea what house they bought, who bought it, were we on the buy side or the listing side, or how, you know what I mean? Like, it's the best feeling ever. But at first, you do have to kind of understand the number and what is it going to look like for you. So remember, we started with 30 deals, so 15 listing side, 15 buy side. At first, you're going to get rid of your buyers, which means your buyer's agent doing the open houses and the post and all of those things should generate you 2 buyers per listing. So now you have 30 buy sides. on your 15 listings. You're still doing the 15 listings at this point, right? So with that math, you're taking the 30 buy sides at 9,000 is 270,000, but now you're splitting it up 50-50, so it's at 135. But you made 135,000, and do you know who they are? No. The other thing that I do, guys, and this is just how I prefer doing things. If you're looking at my production, you're going to see that my production went really down after I joined EXP. Nothing's in my name. The days when I needed the credit and the make sure I look good on paper are long over. You know what I care about? The money in my bank account. Because let me ask you this. If an average commission is $9,000 and now you're making $4,500 and that agent, I don't know, messed up something, is a $40,000 lawsuit going toward the $4,500 commission? Never. So my name is nowhere on the contract. So I do not get credit for the volume. I just get money in my bank account. And that's your choice, right? That's how I prefer. I don't want my name on any of the contracts. All the names are in my agent's, or all the contracts are in my agent's name. I'll just take the money. Thank you so much. 50% referral fee. So I'll take a referral fee versus splitting the deal in the team's name. This way I sleep better at night. So now that takes you to 135,000, so 6 digits, and you didn't even roll out of bed yet. Now eventually, you're gonna want to get rid of your sellers too. Eventually you get to the point, right? You calculated your hourly rate yesterday. Can somebody tell me on the listing site how much was your hourly rate? How much? $1,200. Okay, so at $1,200 you say, okay, that's worth it. I'm going to talk to you for 10 hours, I'll make 12 grand, right? Or 5 hours, 7 hours, however many hours you did the math with. Now my hourly rate is $4,200. Is it worth it for me to spend 10 hours with someone? It is, if I make over $42,000. But if I don't make $42,000, it's not worth my time anymore. So now if I can make that time in the hour, I know what I can make in the hour, right? Now, do I just throw my sellers away and say, sorry, I know you're not worth my time anymore? No, you can't do that. You're still smart. You want that leg of your business, you just don't want to do the work. So now you're going to get yourself a listing agent. So I'm not even calculating all the additional listings that you're going to get and all the additional opportunities I'm going to get. I'm literally calculating, you did 15 last year, let's assume you're gonna do 15 again, right? Well, now you're not doing it, you're gonna hire it out to a listing agent at a 60-40 split. So now that 135,000 came out to be 81,000, and again, you didn't roll out of bed yet. Okay. Now, the transaction fees. So we did 15 on the listing side. You got 2 buyers each, right? Now you have 30 on the buy side. Now you have 45 deals times $495 transaction fee. Then I also get to keep, right? So that's an additional $22,275. It's a very nice trip to Bora Bora that I had yet to have a chance to go. Because time, right? Because it's so far away. I'm like, I want to go, but I want to be in a plane for 17 hours. Okay, team split. So on the buying side, you made $135,000. On the listing side, you made $81,000. Out of your transaction fees, you made, so that takes you to $216,000. And plus your transaction fees, $238,275. And you haven't rolled out of bed yet. Pretty good, huh? But what do you have to do for that? So many of you are, yes, you're like, but how do I give it up? How do I let them do their thing? Oh, honey, you get so used to it. As soon as those checks start coming in, you get over it so fast. You're like, I don't care. You're doing awesome. Keep it up. Let's do it again. I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of mine. So this was Rockefeller. The reason I want you, oh, Mary, do you want to take a picture? The reason I think this is very important because, you know, this opens now up your mind to, okay, what if I create 100 mini-me's? And they each bring 1%, right? Versus me working 100% for my own time. So this is what we are talking about here. But now that also takes you to the next level. So when I was presented with, and this is, by the way, guys, by no means, please don't feel like I'm pushing EXP to you, but I want you to understand how I got to where I'm at and what mind frame, right, and what stories got me there. So when I was presented with the EXP opportunity, I was in the middle of getting my broker's license. I am going to open my own cute little brokerage, and I'm going to have a Gogo real estate in Pinckney, Michigan, and how fun is that going to be, right? So imagine if I did that They asked me, how many agents do you think you're going to have in your prime? If this is working like, oh my gosh, we are like the shit in town. How many agents are you going to have? And I was like, 12. 12. Woo! Living it up, right? So then they said, okay, but now you have a localized business. You're taking all the liability. You're taking all the overhead. There goes the lawsuits, right? I'm like, it's not worth that alpha commission. So the next thing I want you to start thinking about, we talked about this one yesterday, remember? So the next thing I want to talk about after the new listing, like your local team, that whoop, whoop, you're going to get to 12 agents. The math we did it 1 agent on the buy side and 1 agent on the listing side. Cute little team. Now, if you take that cute little team to 12 or whatever would be reasonable in your area, it's just math. So do the math. Okay. Now, what if I have 10 buyer's agents? What if each close 30 deals a year? Now that's 300 deals, right? Because if you if you could teach one to take your 15 listings and turn it into 30 buy sides, can you teach 10 to do the same thing? Yes. Especially if they're doing open houses and other agents' listings, right? And you're just getting all of those buyers. So you can absolutely rinse and repeat, as Sean said, and as Amy says all the time. But now, what if those 12 agents, because a localized brokerage, it's a localized brokerage. So I'm always thinking bigger, right? So can I take my cute little local business nationally or internationally? And we did. So what we call today the Team Gogo organization, which many of you are a part of here through Powerhouse, there's 1,023 of us. If each of you sells 1 house a year, 1. I mean, I'm not expecting a whole lot of you guys. 1. Just 1 $300,000 house. Which, by the way, for most of you, that doesn't even exist on your market, right? Your average is 450, 700, 1.2 million, San Diego, right? But if each of you just sold 1 $300,000 house at a $9,000 commission, 3.5% of that, it sounds like, why would I take 3.5% if I can take 60? Because I can multiply way faster nationwide than I can local. So now that cute little 3.5% on a 9,000 commission is $315. You only sold 1 house. Let that sink in. Are you going to sell more than 1 house this year? So this is how you multiply yourself. This is how you create more of you. This is how you create wealth for your family. Our rev share, guys, it was very, very important to me because I'm staying in this industry. I'm going absolutely nowhere for the next 20, 30, 40 years, or God knows how much time I have on this earth. When I serve my purpose, God will take me. And I'm good with that. I had a good run. So for us, it was very important because our oldest is type 1 diabetic. And I needed to make sure that he can have some sort of an income because he's a boy. He's going to be a head of a household one day. And he cannot have life insurance because he's technically disabled, even though he looks just perfectly fine, right? But technically, type 1 diabetes is a disability. So if that happens to him, I wanted to make sure he's well taken care of after I'm no longer here. Like now, I'm not the type of parents who's like, whatever you want, honey, share, I'll buy you a mansion. Never gonna happen. My son actually texted me a couple of days ago. He's like, Mom, I need $20. What chores can I do? I texted him back, do this, do that, do this, do that. And he's like, okay, it's done. I'm like, send me photos. So he sent me photos and he got $20, right? So I teach him to work. Nobody gave me anything, right? But in the same time, I want to make sure that he's well taken care of because he did get the short end of the stick of life. So with revenue share, I can build it in my lifetime and you can leave it as a legacy to your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and to your cat, as long as your cat has a real estate license. So to me, that was very, very important because if I am building something now, I want to get paid for, that's what they call legacy, right? I don't just want to get paid in the now. Because if you sell 45 homes this year, how much is that going to pay you next year? 10 years from now? 30 years from now? Nothing. You're unemployed again. And that's how real estate used to be. So for me, I will live at every single opportunity that I possibly can, not only in real estate, but in business, because I came for the American dream, guys. One of my favorite quotes says, and write this down if you never heard it, it was life-changing to me. If you're not going to build your dreams someone is going to hire you to build theirs. And when I was reading that, I was very much in corporate America, sitting in my cubicle with a $54,000 job. I had no college education. I was like, that was a good job. They had health insurance. They had matching 401k. And my mom thought I lost my shit when I got my real estate license and I quit. But I realized, and I didn't move to another continent and left everyone behind. I don't have anyone on this continent that's related to me by blood to this day. No one. I knew no one in this country. And here I was building somebody else's dream, but I left everybody and everything behind to build their dream. That was the stupidest thing I could have done to stay in that seat. So instead of I quit, and I started building my own. But now that I start to build my own, then you start having that issue of like, is it ever going to be good enough? Are we stopping at any point, right? So that's going to be a whole other dark alley you're going to be walking down on. And the first day I kind of shared with you that, and some of you weren't there, so maybe you want to research this too on your free time. But you have to research what is your relationship with money. We all have a relationship with money. Can you give me some things that you heard your parents say growing up of like money doesn't grow on trees? Money is the root of. Is there any other money thing that you can think of? More money, more problems. Save it for a rainy day. That's what we learned. But you are not your past. You are not your mom and dad. You are not your traditions. You are not your gender. You are who you want to be. But when I got to that point, right, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making all this money. Who am I to want more? Like, why would God give me more than he gave my mom and dad? And why would I have more than my sister? And I was having this conversation with a stranger at an airport. And he looked, because those are my favorite, right? Because they don't know you, and if they judge me, what do I care? So I'm having this conversation with a stranger at the airport, and he looks at me and he says, why are they not in America? Because I did that. I borrowed $200 from someone who had it because my parents didn't and I didn't. And I got a luggage, and I got on a train, and I got on a bus, and I got on a plane, and I got off in New York. And this big black guy was talking to me at the airport, and I said, English, please? And he said, I'm speaking it. And that's when I realized that, well, if you speak in English, then I'm not speaking English. I didn't even speak English, guys. I learned British English. I learned that, how do you do? I was like, how are you? What does that mean? So wherever you at is because of that box that you put yourself in it. You remember yesterday? It's okay to make money. Money is neutral. Money doesn't have feelings. Money is just going to make you more of what you are. If you're an asshole, you're going to be more of an asshole. If you're a kind person, you will just have more to give to others. And if you worked really hard, it's absolutely okay to have a helipad on your yacht. It is totally fine. You worked for it. And if somebody has a problem with that, that just means they don't have it because their relationship with money. They're going to have to figure that one out. So now that you took your business to 100% passive, isn't that nice? I mean, don't get me wrong. You still get to have some team meetings and yada yada, but the rest is passive. Time to build some other business opportunities. So that's why I'm not removing things from my plate, guys, because I want to pick my nose for the rest of my life on the beach. No. I'm doing this because I enjoy building and I hate nothing more than stagnant. So yes, I think it was 2 days ago when you guys asked of like, oh, but I'm so scared of the new. You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of having the same freaking day over and over again. I'm scared of making $150,000 for the rest of my life. I'm scared of living in the same freaking house. I'm scared of driving the same freaking car. I'm scared of, let me tell you this story. My son, we live in Michigan, freaking 4 foot of snow. The kid's been inside for 7 months playing video games. I was so sick of it. So I'm like, you guys are going snowboarding. $500. So we paid their masks and hats and and the day pass $140 and $560. My son is there for an hour and a half, and I get a call that he's in the ambulance being driven to the hospital. He fell, concussion. So they're driving, I'm in my PJs, jump in a car, like literally from a Zoom call, right? And I am driving, following a emergency vehicle, whatever those are called, right? An ambulance. They send us a bill. $2,700. I didn't blink to pay it. That's the best feeling ever. Being debt-free, which I was so proud of being debt-free, Sean. When I paid off my car, I made a big deal out of it, and everybody was like, that's stupid. Don't do that. Right? I was like, what do you mean don't do that? It's like, you want to be in debt. You want to borrow money because you can get it at such a low rate if you pay it back, right? And go buy yourself a vacation home and go buy yourself a this and that. I was like, oh, okay. So I learned from the rich. Don't ever, ever, ever spend your own money, right? Pay it back though, but don't spend your own. So let's build some more businesses. So coaching programs. You all know someone that I don't know. You all have skills that I don't have. You all have something that you can help another human being with. You all have went through life lessons that somebody else hasn't yet. We all have someone that's looking up to you, that you are in front of, right? So now it's your duty to help others. I started with my coaching program, which is Gogo's Bootcamp social media, first one, and then Agent Attraction after I came over to EXP, which, by the way, if you're a powerhouse, you have access to both for free. But it is one of my largest source of income. We got a 2 Comma Club award for the social media one, and then now we're getting a 2 Comma Club award for the Agent Attraction one, which means we have sold over 7 digits with both of the courses. So now you can start think of it this way. If you videotape yourself, how long does it take you? Explaining one thing, right? 15 minutes max, right? And you explain it, and then does that work for you for the rest of your life? Can I watch it 10 years from now? Could I watch it at 2 o'clock in the morning? You watch for 15 minutes. What if 100,000 people going to watch it? Did you work 100,000 times 15 minutes? No, you worked one time. So think of the next step in your career should be videotaping yourself of your knowledge and helping others with it. And just multiply it. How much do you think I can sell my course for? Mine started, guys, $49. Today it's $8,000. Thank you. But it started at $49. And you add on, and you add on, and you add on, and you add on, and the years are going, right? And suddenly, now your course is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos. Start it here, build it up. Turn your time, leverage your own time. Now you have free time, right? Because you're no longer doing transactions, to turn it into a course where you can help others. You can have absolutely anything in life. The more people you help to get what they want. So now when you're helping others and they're reaching their goals, God will pay you back. And that's why I do what I do. I never look in the moment of what am I getting out of it, because I know God will take care of me. God will pay me back. What you put out, you get back. It's a very simple rule of life. You get what you give. Give your time, your skill, your effort, your knowledge, your life stories, right? Help another human being not to have to go through that so they can learn through you, so they can get where they're going faster. Sean said he's a copier. I'm a copier. I copy the ones who already been there. You need to surround yourself with the people that been where you're going. One of my favorite things to say, write this down. It's a good one. Don't ever ask a friend, a broke friend, how to make $1 million. Because they will tell you you can't do it. And they will tell you that because they don't know how, because they didn't do it. So don't ever, 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 ever. If you wouldn't ask them, write this down. If you wouldn't ask them for their advice, do not ask them for their opinion. We all have naysayers in our lives. You need to shut them up. Don't listen to them. Oops. So then that gave me some more time. Now that I earned all of this time back, right? That gave me some more time to do things with. And this year I started a TC company, and then I started a VA company, and then I started a title company, right? So as you are going on, you're going to realize that the skills that you have, I'm really good at systems, right? That's what I like to do. I'm really good with math. I like to remove things from my plate. I like to add it to others, and since I kind of have it figured out, now I like to help you with that, right? So many times I get them about how do you hire a VA, but how do you train a VA, but how do I keep firing them, and right? So I was like, okay, well, clearly we have a problem on the market. Let me fix it, right? So then we started a VA company. And then transaction coordination company, and then the title company. With title, just think of it this way. Just stop for a minute. How many deals did you do last year? You could literally, if you are a top producing agent, like let's say you do 100 transactions or more a year, you need to be having a conversation with the title company, and you need to be having the opportunity to what they call a JV, a joint venture. Because if I am going to generate you all this business for the rest of my life, I should get paid for that. So in the Team Gogo organization, the amount of transactions that I can't track anything above 2.7 million. So when you guys cap, I don't see what you do above that. But up to capping, we did 2,200 transactions last year. 2,200 transactions last year, what I can track. We did over $1 billion last year in Team Gogo. Should I somehow get paid for that? Absolutely. So the next thing, you always want to think about what are the things that you are doing, right? Because can you close a deal without a lender? If you gave all this money to your lender, right, all of this business, should they support you somehow, or is this a one-way highway? No, they need to figure out a way how to support you back. If I am feeding your family, I'm not expecting a lot, but if I'm feeding your family, I'm expecting you to feed mine. Legally. I also don't like the orange suit, right? So we're not going to go on that side of the whatever that's called. But you definitely want to figure out ways how they can support you. Maybe they can give you a marketing agreement, right? Maybe they say, okay, if you run Facebook ads, I pay for half of it. Because who benefits from that? Both of you. Can you close those buyers without a lender? Most of them no. I mean, nowadays with the stimulus package, seems like everybody's buying houses cash. I don't know where they're getting the cash from, right? But you need that. So there's multiple ways how you can do this. You always want to think ahead. And you don't want to necessarily pay for things. I hate paying for things. So now we're going to get you some VAs. We talked about that yesterday. Remove even more stuff from your plate. So get yourself an executive assistant, a social media assistant, a numbers guy, a tech guy, and an onboarding specialist. Because when your agents are calling in your downline, the 1023 that we were talking about, how did I log into KV Code? I lost my login. Should you be the one answering it? Does somebody have to answer it? Yeah, they need help. They decided to partner with you, right? So they need help. You should be available. But do you have to be the one answering the question? No. You're going to build a team for that. But here's my favorite thing. My VAs literally pay for one another. My VAs are no cost to me. And here's how we figured it out. So in Team Gogo, you guys are all Team Gogo, by the way. If you want your own VA, go to gogosbootcamp.com and sign up on our waiting list. If you just want a VA to kind of help you out here and there, like, oh, I just need them to set up KV Core really quick, right? If you don't want to have your own, if you don't have enough work for them, you can just log into Team Gogo. We have the Team Gogo VA. So for example, Usman is the one who does these now. So let's say you want your social media branding, it's $60. He will help you set up your business Facebook page and update your Instagram and your profile photos and your bio and your links and all of that stuff for $60. I'm like, oh yeah, please, what do you need from me, right? Then the other one is the events. So we do like the Why Not EXP, for example. You should have your own link, right? I'll do the presentation, but you can have your own link to invite the agents to the presentation. He'll create it for you for $25. So now I did the math. So last month alone, which we only had the menu open for 2 weeks, we made $3,700. Guess how much a VA costs you a month, full time? $600. So I created an opportunity for one VA, which is still so cheap for you. Would you pay $25 for someone to do that? Would you pay $100 for someone to set up your KV Core? Because if you pay somebody else to set up your KV Core, it's thousands of dollars. So what I did is I found them, I hired them, I trained them for 3-4 months before they were ready to rock and roll. Now they are ready to rock and roll, costing $600 a month. You're going to pay a very, very minimal fee for the service, but that VA now pays for all the other VAs on the team. I like to make money and not spend it. I mean, I do like to spend it on nice things, right? Like first-class airplane tickets. Worth every penny. Okay. If you need help to hiring and training your VAs, you can do it yourself. You can go to Upwork. So if you just want that in-house VA that we have in Team Gogo for just a couple jobs, go to teamgogo.team. You guys all have access if you're a Team Gogo agent. If you want your own VA to remove all of that other stuff that we talked about, you can do it a few ways. Hire them and find them on Upwork and train them and all of that stuff. Or you can go to gogosbootcamp.com, go to the VA waiting list, sign up for that, go to the phone calls and all that with my team and decide if that's the way for you to go. Everybody else, if you're not Team Gogo also, if you're not with us, you can absolutely go to gogosbootcamp.com and get your VAs. They are not specific to us or EXP. We built literally a VA service, okay? So, you know your hourly rate. If it takes me 2 hours, with this math, with $2,300 on the listing side, right? If it takes me 2 hours to answer my LinkedIn messages, how much does that cost me? Not me right now, my hourly rate is $4,200, but with the math of the listing agent, it would cost you $4,200 if you're doing it. Cost, time is money. There's a cost for your time. If you keep responding to your LinkedIn messages, it takes you 2 hours. It's $4,200. A VA will work for you full-time, 40 hours for $600. 40 hours. Should you ever check your LinkedIn again? Does it need to be checked? Absolutely. Does it have to be you? No. So what I do in my case, Mariana checks my messages and she leaves it unread, the ones that I need to respond to. So when I log in and I see I have 4 messages, I know those 4 are for me because she went through the 967 to get to the 4. Then I needed to address. And that was it, guys, for today.
Okay, does anyone have any burning questions for Gogo really quick?
Yeah, we have some time,
like
yes.
5 or 10 minutes. If you want a question, now is the time to ask it.
So if you look at mine is not edited. I don't have an editor on it. I literally take the phone, put it up on a stand, start talking. Oh yeah, so she was wondering if when I started my course, if I had a VA or somebody helping me set up the camera and all that. So here's the thing. To me, that's not work. If I felt like that was work, I would have absolutely hired it out. I don't do anything that I hate doing. I just won't do it. I hate online shopping. Could I go on Amazon and buy toothpicks? Absolutely. But instead I tell Mariana, can you please buy me some toothpicks on Amazon? Yeah. Yeah. So, yes. So for the technology portion of it, so what I would do is this. Write down, what is your course about? And then you have to break it down. Literally, imagine that they are 3 years old. Because when I got the question on my social media course, but how do I hold the phone? Oh.
She's not joking. That question comes in.
Oh. I was like, so we're not talking about Zapier integration. We are talking about how to hold the phone. So when I'm saying break it down to stupid, like literally break it down that they are 3 years old. So first, sit down with your morning coffee, whatever you enjoy doing, right? Whenever you are in your creative mind, and write down the end result. And from there, break it down. How did you get there? And then literally break it down to the absolute basics of it. And what you're going to see, there's going to be chapters to your course. You're going to have one for maybe buyer's agents, and then you're going to have one on the listing side, and you're going to have one on how to generate leads, and then you're going to have one how to follow up with your leads, or whatever your course is going to be about, right? You're going to break it down. It's going to be like different chapters for it. Then what you do, now you have the titles for your videos, right? Because you wrote down all of those things that you want to cover. Then you set up your camera. I like daylight. I never shoot videos at night. First of all, you're tired by that time. Your makeup is 4 hours old, like all of that stuff, right?
Don't do it.
Don't do it at night. So you want daylight. You always want to face a window. I don't care if you put a desk right in front of a window and you sit down and make it look like that's your office, right? Or stand up, whatever is most comfortable for you. You can get a ring light. So I just have a $32 cheap ring light from Amazon, and I stand in front of it and I push the thing, and I don't ever edit videos. So if it's not good, I'll just shoot it again. But most videos you'll see it's like a minute or two. Like and a specifics, because you have to break it down so down, right? You're not gonna go from like how to set up your Facebook page to how to integrate your leads with KV Core that come from, right? Like it's a huge jump. So you're gonna break it down to like cute little steps. It's gonna take you a minute or two for each of the videos. And then what you do is that you upload it to YouTube on a private channel. So nobody gets to see it. right? So you upload it to YouTube, and as your course is ready, that's when I would find myself a digital marketer. Now, I'm a huge believer that I can do anything. Should I be spending 3 years figuring out ClickFunnels? Like, could I figure it out? Absolutely. Should I be spending 3 years figuring it out, or should I just hire somebody who's really good at it? So that's what I did. I would do that as a percentage-based, not an upfront cost. Because I want you to care. A. B. You're going to create your course and be like, shit, I forgot about that whole section. I need to talk about that now. He's done. You already paid him. He's done. Right? So what I do is I pay a percentage of the profit. So then you get to decide who you hire, what they're going to be doing for you. But here's another thing. It's one thing to build your course and have it all plugged in. It's nice and pretty. How are you going to sell it? Right? Now you're going to have to do all of the online, the Stripes and the PayPals and the integrations and then the marketing, the Facebook ads and all that. If you don't want to run that, you're going to have to find yourself somebody who does it. So I got God works in funny ways, right? God puts people in your plate, and thank God that I always follow up on my gut feelings. Sammy is a godsend to me, like literally God sent. He reached out to me on Instagram, him and a million other people. For whatever reason, I decided to work with him. And you can do it I would do it on a percentage basis, and I would try to find myself a digital marketer that not only can build the site and maintain the site for you, but can also run your ads and do all of the, I don't know what that's called, the electronic payment methods and all of that stuff, all of the systems, the follow-up emails, the funnels, all of that stuff. That's what I would do. First, get your idea, put it on paper, break it into chapters, start shooting the videos, upload it to YouTube, put it on a private channel. In the meantime, find yourself somebody that can do it. Yes? So kind of both, right? I think our contract is so good. I think our training is so good. Then I really don't need a trained agent. And in that case, I'd rather have them brand new because I don't want to have to break old habits, right? I'd rather form you the way I want you to be versus breaking old habits. So I don't mind if they're brand new, and I don't mind if they had experience either. Trust me, I can break anyone. Just kidding. So not necessarily training. So we have expectation in our contracts, right? So they have to go at least twice in a month, 2 times for the state training. So they're going to get anything specific to Michigan from that, right? They have to go to every contracts training. So your state has contracts training. Ours is every Thursday, right? So they have to go to every contracts training until they literally went through every single contract. You should only ask me about that contract if you went to the training and for whatever reason wasn't covered there. Right? Just like Whitney said, Google it, ask a friend, right? Like try to do it yourself and only then ask somebody from the team and only then ask me, right? So when you put those things in the contract, they will know what to do. And then we also make them go through the NAEA certification, which by the way, you guys all have access to that. One of the best training you'll ever get. So that's the National Association of Expert Advisors. If you are Team Gogo or Powerhouse, you automatically get it for free. If you're an outsider, you can absolutely look up NAEA, National Association of Expert Advisors, and get to the certification program. So they become a certified listing agent and a certified buyer's agent. Also, we have team meetings, right? So every Monday morning, we start with a team meeting. I know even though I don't necessarily need to anymore, it pretty much runs without me, but I still know how many deals they have pending, how our listings are doing, if they went pending over the weekend, how many offers they made over the weekend, how many buyers they're working with, what listings are coming up, and whatever questions they have. Now we are at a point where they don't have to call me much, but at first, they're going to be calling you with questions all the time, right? So you're going to have to invest some time into them, but the goal is that eventually we'll work without you, and eventually the ones that you trained will train the next. So right now, Clancy's training Carrie for me, right? Because we added on Carrie and we're adding on a new guy this week. And Carrie's getting trained by Clancy right now. And for that, I give Clancy a cut of my cut of the team commission. So I multiply yourself, right? I don't want to have to spend the time again myself, train another agent. So I pay an agent a cut of that agent's commission, of my commission, right? To spend the time with them.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Just quickly on icon status, and you're saying you remove yourself out of the contract. Can you just break down half point to icon?
Yeah. So to icon, you have to have 2.7 million in production and 20 deals in your own anniversary year. Since I'm splitting the deals, that means I have to have 40 because I'm splitting it at 50-50, right? So now I have to do 40 deals to icon.
So if you have
Whatever percentage you get is the percentage of the deal.
Okay.
So if your percentage ends up being 25%, it's a quarter of a deal, which means now I have to do 4 of those to ICON to consider it as one.
And what's the referral?
25%, so it's a quarter of a deal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that means I have to do 4 referrals, but I did, just to Chelsea in 2 weeks, how many? In 2 weeks, to one agent. So then this way, I'm like, okay, so that's 2 deals for me right there, because 2 1/4, right? Because they are quarter deals. Yeah, so whatever percentage you get is the percentage of the deal.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. You have a 5-minute break.
Thank you, guys.
Grab something to eat, or not to eat, to drink. Go to the bathroom, and then I'm gonna be covering content that converts, like how to build it in, how to bring in those clients. Okay.